The light is my strength. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan.
I'll consider it.
Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. I'm here to help. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly.
What would you ask of me?
A sound plan. The light is my strength.
Aye? Move it! What would you ask of me?
Is there something else?
Let me face the peril. Tell me. Give me something to
Hello.
do! Aye? Brilliant! Out of my way! I'm glad you're here. At your call.
Justice shall be done. For honor. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. You are past me. For my father the king. I'm here to help. Justice has come. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. Certainly.
You called? What troubles you? What would you ask of me?
Justice shall be done. Of course.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm here to help. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. Feel my wrath.
Give me something to do! Move it!
Is there danger? You are past redemption.
Aye? Out of the way! I'm coming through!
I'm here to help. Betrayer of the light.
Let me face the devil. For honor. For might.
The light is my strength. You are past redemption.
My talents are yours.
Justice shall be done. The light is my strength. Of course. A sound plan.
What would you ask of me?
Is there danger? Of course.
Give me something to do! What troubles you?
I stand for the light.
Greetings, my lord.
Is there something amiss?
Tell me. At your call.
I'm here to help. A sound
I
plan.
am not afraid. At your call.
Is there danger? Certainly. I'm here to help. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. Of course.
Welcome to our village.
The light is my strength.
Let me face the peril.
I stand for the light. Certainly. For honor. Of course. Is there danger?
My talents are yours.
Greetings, my lord.
Justice shall be done. For honor. For my father, the king. You are past redemption. A sound plan. I stand for the light. The light is my strength. Feel my wrath. Move it! Justice shall be done. Is there danger? The light is my strength. Of course. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly.
I'll consider it.
Of course. For honor. Of course. For honor.
Is there something amiss?
I stand for the light. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. Certainly. Of course. Justice shall be done. The light is my strength. Certainly. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. Justice has come.
Hello.
Is there danger?
What would you ask of me?
I'm here to help. Of course. Certainly. For my father, the king. Is there danger?
What troubles you?
Welcome to our village.
Justice shall be done. Of course. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. You are past redemption. Justice is come.
Greetings, my lord.
I stand for the light. I'm here to help.
I'm glad you're here.
Hello.
I've been thinking.
Is there danger?
Tell me. You called?
Greetings, my lord.
The light is my strength. For honor. Certainly. I stand for the
At your
light.
call.
Aye?
Is there danger? For honor. Certainly. I'm here to help. For honor. Certainly.
Betrayer of the light.
A sound plan. Certainly. For my father, the king. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly.
You are past redemption.
Of course. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. The light is my strength.
Yes, me lord?
Justice shall be done. For honor. Of course.
I am not afraid.
I stand for the light. A sound plan. Justice shall be done. Of course. I'm here to help. Certainly.
At your call. As you wish. It shall be done.
Is there danger? The light is my strength. Of course. For honor. Of course. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. Of course.
Feel my wrath.
What did you ask of me?
Is there danger? The light is my strength. Certainly. For honor.
Give me something to do.
Is there danger? Certainly. For honor. Of course. For honor. Of course. Certainly. For honor.
Foul knave.
Of course. For my father, the king.
Betrayer of the light.
I'm here to help.
Justice will come.
For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan.
Feel my wrath.
Certainly. For honor. Of course. For honor. A sound plan.
You are past redemption.
Certainly. Of course.
I am not afraid.
Is there danger? Certainly. I'm here to help. For honor. I stand for the light. Justice shall be done.
My talents are yours.
Hello.
The light is my strength. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. sound plan.
Betrayer of the light.
For honor.
Feel my wrath.
Certainly. Of course. For honor. Certainly. Of course.
Yes, right away.
For honor. Certainly.
Justice will come.
Is there danger? For honor. I'm here to help. Of course.
Let me face the peril. For honor. As you wish.
The light is my strength. For honor. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. Certainly. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. For honor. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Of course.
Feel my wrath.
Certainly.
Justice will come.
Greetings, my lord.
Is there danger? Of course. For my father, the king. Justice shall be done. Certainly.
Aye?
At your call.
Hello.
You called? A fateful choice.
Is there danger? Of course.
What would you ask of me?
Give me something to do!
Welcome to our
My
village.
talents are yours.
The light is my strength. For honor. I stand for the light. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Of course.